Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom, to you sisters, you Akhwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. Yep, I'm just going to go over this real quick, just going into the way that they have the pentagram in Washington D.C., which is designed basically in witchcraft, right? And I'm just go over a couple of these a couple of scriptures, tapping into their going into sorceries and witchcrafts, and and then just close out, and then hopefully, Lord willing, it'd be edifying. So with all that, I'll go ahead and get into it. So matter of fact, this is for educational purposes only. I'm not collecting any money. I'm not doing this for any intents and purposes, but for educational purposes only. Right? So go ahead and get started.
Symbolistic symbols on the Washington, D.C. map. Chapter 3, the pentagram. In Chapter 1, it was shown that Metatron's cube was used as a template for the D.C. map, but with two modifications. The first modification is that the triangles in the map cube are not equilateral. Before being used in the map, the template was shortened to 76% of its original height. Measuring the big triangle in the map, we see that it has the same base angles as the Great Pyramid. New Hampshire Avenue provides the left-hand side of the big triangle in the D.C. map. Although there are no streets connecting the points on the right side of the pentagram, that line helps point out the second modification to the cube template. The line connecting the right points of the pentagram misses the Capitol building. Looking at the full map, we see that this is because Pennsylvania Avenue is bent. Looking closely, we see that the section of Pennsylvania Avenue between the White House and Georgetown points to where the avenue eventually ends at the East Branch. If the Capitol building had been located 600 feet to the south, Pennsylvania Avenue would have been straight all the way from Georgetown to the East Branch. Where the right side of the triangle crosses the straight line of Pennsylvania Avenue marks the ideal location of the Capitol building. Looking at the topographic map, we see that the planned location of the Capitol building fell on the steep side of Jenkins Heights. Note that each line indicates 10 feet of elevation. A subthesis is that Pennsylvania Avenue is bent because the Capitol was moved for topographic reasons. This is why I've called the area surrounding the pentagram the correct part of the map. This series of images shows the development of the pentagram inside Metatron's cube. We begin with a triangle, inside of which we inscribe a hexagon. Extending the top sides of the hexagon to the sides of the triangle locates 2 points of the pentagram. Next, the whole template is shortened. This was used for the map plan, with the Capitol building being moved a bit to the north. Note the 5 vertical axes in the cube. If we imagine this to be the map, we have the White House centered on 16th Street. The Capitol building is in the southeast corner, and Georgetown is in the northwest corner. And the wide points of the pentagram help set the east-west scale for the map. The eastmost point bisects the east-west distance between the Capitol and the White House, while the westmost point bisects the east-west distance between the White House and Georgetown. The east-west distance between the wide points of the pentagram is the same as the east-west distance between the Capitol building and the White House. rhombus formed by the overlapping pentagon and hexagon sets the north-south scale for the map, but only for the north part of the map because the capital has been moved. We can confirm the ideal Capitol building location and the notion of the primacy of the angles in the pentagram by looking at the modern map. Here we see that Memorial Drive was designed to run from Arlington Cemetery to the Lincoln Memorial and onto the ellipse at the same angle as New York and Rhode Island avenues. The front of the Pentagon building is directed toward the ideal Capitol location, and the line between the Pentagon and the planned location parallels Memorial Drive, New York, and Rhode Island avenues. The point is that the pentagram provides the dominant angles for the western half of the DC map. If the Capitol building had been located a little bit to the south, the line between there and the Pentagon would be Maryland Avenue. A circle helps show that where that line crosses 16th Street is the same distance from the White House as the tip of the triangle is. Please note the pentagonal fractals. A pentagram is formed by the crossing of 5 lines, which produces 15 line segments. Leaving out one of these line segments does not invalidate the pentagram.
First, we must address the main issue, raised by every researcher. Is there really a pentagram in the street layout of the city?
One segment of the pentagram is missing.
I started to look carefully at the maps and draw my lines, and then I find out that, hey, it's not a real 5-pointed star. It doesn't have legs.
And you can draw a pentagram over some of the major streets, but the streets don't actually connect to form a pentagram.
The triangle, pentagram, hexagram, and rectangle need not be complete to be able to recognize the cube in the map. If you don't see the pentagram in the map, you probably can't see the tree of life that I'll deal with in chapter 4 either.
Yeah, so I just went right here. Right, this is Capitol pentagram. I just went into Google, typed in pentagram DC, and then I went into images, and this got Washington DC images, right? And it's basically showing you basically this is their design, how they built DC based on this gives a certain type of energy, right? It's rooted in witchcraft, Satan, right? And satanic worship practices, Freemason, however they want to go about it. But it gives off a certain energy, the left-handed energy, the power, Yahweh, on the left-handed side, right? Because there is power, because it's still all comes from the Most High, Yahweh. But on the left-hand side, because the Lord created them to be the vessels that were made to be destroyed, right? A vessel for righteousness, and then there's a vessel for unrighteousness, and they're the unrighteous vessels, right? So it's in their spirit to be this way, right? Because as you could see, right? Matter of fact, so it's Ecclesiastes chapter 7, Ecclesiastes, not Ecclesiasticus, but Ecclesiastes 7 and 13. Consider the work of the power, the Most High, Yahweh, right? Through His only begotten Son, which created the world, right? Being Yahweh Shai was created by Yahweh, and then gave Him the authority to create the world, right? Right, Him and the 144,000 men, brothers that He have, that's also in this world, that's in the flesh, right? And these chains of darkness, right, which will be returned back soon to those heavenly bodies, right, unable to die. For who can make that straight which He have made crooked? So the Lord has set up Edom, right, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, to be crooked, right? He made him to be crooked. He is a vessel that is made to be crooked, right? And not to be straight, you know? And that's his function. So even the way he built his architectural foundations and things sends off a left-handed energy, right? Yeah, so this is Isaiah 29:16. Surely you're turning of things upside down, and that's ultimately what Esau has done. He's taken this place called Washington and built it with this, satanic energy, witchcraft, sorcery, and used it to perpetuate uh things being upside down, that they'll go into their so-called law books and write a law, basically in their attempt to ride the Most High, and say that a man can marry a man, right? So if that's not satanic in itself, right, that left-handed energy within itself, I don't know what is, right? And then they made a so-called black man, which really he's a Hamitic guy, man. He's he's from Kenya, which they're totally different, right? Because it tells you that Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes, right? Because we're totally different. We come from Shem or Shum, and not Ham, right? So, you know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right, which wrestled with an angel, which as Israel, but in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, it is called Yasha'Allah, he prince of the power of God. And that's you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. So this self-proclaimed so-called white man has what turned the world upside down. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay, right? See, so them passing these laws at the White House, it's esteemed as, oh, it must be so. I mean, and not to mention that, though, they push forth the history, because you can go back in history, and this type of thing has been going on for quite some time, right? Man on man, woman on woman, but then they're esteeming it as the potter's clay, not realizing what the Most High has done to a place called Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And people have heard about it, but being that this so-called modern technology, this modern world, right, is in their face, so they feel like this guy who's in power, right, is he's able to supersede and pass with the Most High, but there's judgment for that, man, right? For shall the work say, yeah, esteem himself as a potter's clay, yeah, for shall the work say of him that made it, he have he he made me not. So obviously you're on the earth, right? So this is where they come in with the left-handed energy. God doesn't exist, right? Or if he does exist, maybe he's a woman, or um what else other kind of things they come up with. There's many gods and there's many ways to God. All these different wines and philosophies and things like that, right? So it's kind of a way to put it off and say that, hey, God didn't make me. You know, you know, no, his mentality is he is God, right? You know, or shall the thing formed, right, of him that formed it, he have no understanding. So do you think that the Lord created everything, which there's obviously, oh yeah, let's not even forget about that. They'll have a way of saying that the Lord didn't create anything. Let's have the Big Bang theory, evolution. Anything to discredit the power, and saying, basically, in a way of saying that there is no God, or he hasn't created me, right? Another way of basically saying he made me not, right? Well, no, it was a Big Bang theory. No, it was evolution. These things happened, and it just formulated. Something was floating in the air, and then just poof. Which it couldn't be possible, right? When you look at how the sun rises, spends about 12 hours, you have about 12 hours, give or take the time, season that it may be, and you may get a little bit more darkness in the winter because that's what keeps it cool, because that's what makes it winter. It's a little cooler, right? But then, you got about 12 hours and 12 hours, which is 24 hours, right? Day, then night, right? You got the birds, the bees, you got things. Matter of fact, I used to have this job, and they sent us, I did landscaping. They sent us to a class for the landscaping, and we had to learn about trees. And the very interesting thing about that is each, even though a leaf comes from the same tree, each leaf in itself has its own fingerprint, so to speak. All come from the same tree. Each one has its own unique pattern or fingerprint, characteristic to the leaf that comes off this one tree. So you mean that something just said boom, right? Which a bang doesn't create. I mean, go take whatever bomb or thing, whatever, and blow something up, and then see if life comes from that. No, it's going to destroy what's ever living or whatever that's there. It's going to just bust it into pieces, right? And life is not going to come from that. And then if you got evolution, what tells these things uh, to stop evolution? I mean, obviously, as stupid as people are, you haven't came to your full potential yet, obviously, right? So what would tell these things to say, hey, we reached the highest heights, and there's no need to keep evolving, right? Because there's something wrong with you people, obviously, right? You know, you need to keep evolving, right? So, but what tells the monkeys or whatever, however they used to tell you, what tells the monkey to say, hey, uh, stop growing the tail, and or grow your tail again. Just be a monkey now. Don't. I mean, because where's the evidence of a monkey or whatever the freak it is in midstream of transforming into a human, and because the cutoff date or whatever, I don't know, however you want to say it, you know what I'm saying, said we don't need no more, and it's halfway in between transforming from a monkey to a human, or even one that was dead or whatever, proof, real proof, not fake, not you know something made up, but some real true hardcore straight up evidence, which that hasn't happened, right? So this is Romans chapter 9 verse 21. Have not the potter power over the clay, right? And that potter being Yahweh, through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, right? He's that potter who has power over the clay. And it tells you in Genesis, it says that he made man from the dust of the ground, which is, you take that and it's like clay. Basically, it's clay. So you're nothing. You're just clay, right? And the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor. So as you could see, the Lord made one crooked, right? And who can make them straight if the Lord has already made them crooked? That's just the factual things, right? So America is never going to be great, right? It never have, and it never will be. It's always had that left-handed satanic energy to it, right? And judgment, which is ultimately going to come, right? So what if the power, the Most High Yahweh, through His only begotten Son, willing to show His wrath, right? And that's ultimately what's going to come upon this place. America, Babylon the Great, is the Lord's wrath, yeah, through His only begotten Son. Yahweh Shai is coming back, right? Not as the lamb that He once was, to be a sacrifice, or to just be another Israelite like he was in his other lifetimes. He's not coming to be in a reincarnation. He's coming back in His angelic form, coming with the power of His Father, right? I believe it says that. I believe He says He's coming with the power of the Most High, not His own power, right? Though He has been given authority, we're not taking that from Him, but it's not His power. It's the Most High's power, right? So when it's the most high power, there's nothing you could do. You cannot put this off, right? It's going to be complete judgment, right? To show his wrath and to make his power known endureth, right? So you've been ruling, you've been doing your thing, and the Lord's just been enduring things for prophecy's sake, right? All thing has to play out for the sake of prophecy. So the Lord's just been enduring what's been going on, enduring with much long suffering. The vessels of wrath fitted, right? So you were tailor made. You were created. You were created from the potter, right? Through his only begotten Son, which is Yahweh Shai, who created you. Yahweh Shai created you, but Yahweh Shai is coming to destroy you too, right? Showing you that power. You know, it says, yeah, the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, right? And this place is it's fitted for destruction. America, Babylon the Great, and then the Edomites, right? The place that's spiritually Basra, the place that's spiritually Sodom and Egypt, the place that is spiritually the daughter of Babylon, right? That great city, the Babel, right? That city of what? Confusion, right? Where things are upside down. You have turned the things upside down to what a lot of what witchcrafts. Yeah. So this is Leviticus 19 and 26 says, "Ye shall not eat anything with the blood," right? And so Esau, basically the turn of things upside down, right, will tell you that uh, the greatest steak you could ever eat is a steak filled with blood, right? Right, because you don't want this dry, super dry steak, which I get it. Dry steak is very tough to eat, but it's ways that you can moisten your steak, right? You know, you could fill it in with uh, you know, juices and things like that. So that way you could still cook it well done, but still have it be moist. You can inject it with some juices and things like that, right? A lot of people cook their things with different types of beer, things like that to keep it moist. Cook it, take it out, put a cover over it. As a matter of fact, you're supposed to let it rest before cutting it open. So you can get some of the moisture to it. But that's the thing they tell you. Surely if things turned upside down, they're esteemed as the potter's clay, man. The opposite of what the Most High said is what's perpetuated in this place called America, Babylon the Great. So it says, neither shall thus use enchantments, and that's ultimately what's going on here, man. Through your local news, which is news, media, movies, right, music, right, which is basically goes into the word media or medium, right, which a medium is basically a witch, right, goes into basically being witchcraft, right, enchantment, right, and that's what they use here to mind control and manipulate the people, nor observe times. And that's what they do. They observe a lot of times, right, through the NASA and this and that, and then in the changing of times, right, because we don't know really what time we're in, right. So this is it's you know there's a thing where they have came in what manipulated times, right. You don't know what calendar you're really under. I don't know if it's a Gregorian calendar. I know it's they were saying something about they use the Gregorian understanding, but also use some of the Judaic calendar and kind of intermix some things, but then you're still calling things after different Greek gods or things that have to do with the stars and things that's out way out. Monday, Moon Day, right? Right. Sunday, sun, dealing with the sun, right? Saturn, which Saturday, which is Saturn, who goes back into Satan, right? Some of them other ones I don't remember. I know some they say Thursday is like Thor's day or something like that. But I know a lot of these things go back to these other different philosophies and things like that, and they're you know they'll tell you there's a daylight savings time, and then turn around and tell you there's no daylight savings, and they're talking about just removing the daylight savings altogether. Well, if you can remove the daylight savings, well, what happened to all those years that you used the daylight savings? Where did all that time go? So and going back into what that what that video was saying, because basically it almost makes the pentagram, but just that little small spot doesn't touch. But as most people understand that it still makes like the face of basically of Satan. So if you can see that, even without that street missing, if you just go ahead and just put it there, you can see that it makes like the face of Satan, right? Yeah, so this is supposed to be a tombstone pentagram from a nice lady, right? But as you can see, the way that that star is set, that's not an accident, right? It's basically set so you can see the face of what they call the devil, right? Right? See, this is basically Freemason, satanic, um, ways that they have, you know, they push that left-handed energy, right? Um, but yeah, yeah. So this is Isaiah chapter 47 and 1 says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter," right? That's what I was telling you about. This is also known as the virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America, that city of confusion, daughter of Babylon. Sit in the dust, right? Because the Lord said he's raising this place up to show forth his wrath, right? To destroy this place. Yes, there is no throne, right? Going to take America off of that, you know, being that top country, that ruling place, right? And the Edomites, just all together. So it's old daughter of the Chaldeans, right? Going into what witchcraft, right? Chaldeans were known for enchantments, right? For thus shall no more be called tender and delicate, right? I'm just going to skip down to 8. It says, therefore hear now this, thus that are given to pleasures that dwelleth carelessly, and that's America, man, right? They they had the little Cold War situation. They dropped the bomb, the atomic bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and made a couple of nuclear weapons, and just basically just sat around thinking, hey, nobody else is going to flex on us after what happened. But while they were doing that, Russia was developing greater and better nuclear weapons, not just atomic, but it was nuclear, right? China started developing, right? Now they have these hypersonic missiles. So I believe China has a hypersonic missile. I believe Russia has 2 hypersonic missiles. And I believe I just read in the news or seen a clip or something recently about how North Korea is developing a hypersonic missile. So, and these are things that America has no defense against, right? So you're completely careless and thinking that you're this top thing, and then you sold your secrets. A lot of them countries just didn't get nuclear uh, capability without you selling the secrets to them and how to get it and how to perform it and how to build it, right? You sold it to them. Now that's going to be your demise, right? That's a careless thing, right? Not knowing at any point given time these people could become your enemy. So you'll sell your top number one defense secrets, man. See, that's a careless thing. That say in thy heart, right? In your mind, and your mind is full of imaginations, right? It's crazy. That saith in thy heart, right, which is your mind, la'ab, I am and none else beside me. So you're acting like, hey man, ain't nobody else gonna fight me. Nothing else is gonna happen. I'll just sell all these nuclear secrets and nothing's gonna happen. That's careless, man. That's stupid, right? Saying I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. So, man, I got this. Ain't nothing gonna happen. I'll just sell my nuclear secrets. I'll give them technology to these certain weapons, and I ain't gonna worry about it. Oh, I'll go over to Afghanistan and train them, and then now these people are become your enemy, right? With your own tactics, right? You live in a bizarro world, right? But those two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children, right? Which that's happening right now. A lot of you so-called Jewish women are having either stillborns or miscarriages or unable to get pregnant at all. And then that goes for the whole Edomite community, right? It's not just the Jewish woman. It's all the Edomites are having a hard time, bringing forth their offsprings, right? And the ones that are there, they're just lucky. The Most High, the Lord most likely want that one to be here for the time of destruction, right? Because the Lord said, if you do increase children, it shall be for the what? For the sword. And that's ultimately what's coming. The ICBM missiles are coming, right? The hypersonic ICBM missiles at that. So it says, and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorcery. See, going into that's this place, man, through the music industry, through the news, through the movies, the entertainment, any type of way, to schools, right? Matter of fact, the brothers mentioned that even the schools, and I wanted to mention that too. But because when you go back into the school system, it got started by a banking system named what was it? The banking system was called Lucifer, right? I think it was called Lucifer, but people didn't like it, so that I believe they called it Lucius, right? They changed it from Lucifer to Lucius, which is basically the same thing, right? It's called Lucius Trust, and Lucius Trust is what funded a lot of the school system and basically had control over a lot of the school system, right? And that's where that great multitude of sorcery comes in at, right? Every Christmas or whatever, they'll put on that Ten Commandments and have Charleston Hester, right, which is a straight up Edomite, and then not to mention he was a flaming Edomite, and put him as Moses, put other dudes as other Edomites, right, clean leopards as Yahweh Shai, which that's sorcery, bro. At the end of the day, for great abundance of thy enchantments, man. So basically just completely doing sorcery and enchantments and different things against the children of Israel, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, man. Right? Like, one of the things that they got Jake to do is put on Jordans. When you look at the Jordan symbol, that's a pyramid, right? The way the Jordan's up like that, it's a pyramid. And then 23, the number 23 is for murder or death. So he was 23, the number 23 with the pyramid. And then when you realize and you go into that, A lot of Jakes got killed over wearing these Jordans or trying to get it or rob somebody or trying to get the money, sell so many amount of drugs so they can have so many different pairs of so-called Air Jordans, right? Let me skip down. Where is it at? Yeah, go to 12. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and 12. Stand now with thy enchantments. See? Hey, so now the Lord said, hey, look, I raised you up just for this important message, right? This important news break, right? You're going to be destroyed. I raised you up for this purpose. Stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. So go ahead. Don't stop now. You see the chariots everywhere. You see the men of the Lord out there on the highways and the byways. You see these digital epistles. Hey, don't stop now. Don't quit now. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Because now that's ultimately what you have to do, right? You have to push this in overdrive, right? Because I'm going to do a lesson real soon, right? Because they're going to push forth that charagma, and that's what they're talking about doing. They just made it a mandatory thing for Ethiopia to have a digital currency. See? So now they have to put everything in maximum overdrive, right? So it says, within thus, wherein thus has labored, right? From thy youth, and if it be thus shall be able to profit. So, hey man, go ahead and work it. I mean, push it. Go to maximum overdrive. Make it mandatory for Ethiopia to get the digital currency, and then push it everywhere else in the planet and make it all mandatory everywhere to get this digital currency. So then that way you could push to get it with the biometrics, because that's ultimately bio meaning body and metrics meaning an amount, right? Amount of of currency or whatever, right? So this is where we're at. This is where we're headed. This is see if go ahead and push it and see if it's going to profit you. Profit. If so be, thus may it prevail. Hey, you just might prevail. And see, and this is the Lord being facetious, man. He's writing your end to be destroyed, but he's saying go ahead and do it. You psych somebody up, but you know it ain't gonna happen. Like, bro, you could do it, bro. It's all right. Go ahead. I mean, he's trying to pump you up real quick, like, but you're not gonna make it, dude. Thus are weary in the multitude of thy counsel. See, the Lord knows, and at the end of the day, you're scared, but for good reason, man. The power is about to come. Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, is about to judge this place, man. The power is about to be here, man. Let now the astrologers, and stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, right? And that goes into you changing times, because it says being a observer of times, because that's what you've been doing. You've been monthly prognosticating and things and changing times, giving different months, leap years, and this and that, and changing of times, and just all sorts of things that you have to do to account for the madness that you're putting forth in the earth, right? So stand up, right? So now it's time for the battle, man. It's almost time for the battle. Stand up and save. Yeah, see, stand up. Now it's time for you to save yourself, right? So he that had the mark, saith he that save he that have the mark. So now it's time for you to have someone to save you, right? Because no one may buy or sell, saith he that save he that had the mark. So now it's time for you to save yourself and save thee from the things that shall come upon thee, right? And that's that judgment, man. Let me keep going, because that's starting to get good, right? It says, behold, they shall be as stubble, right? You're going to be as stubble. The fire shall burn them; they shall not deliver themselves. See, so he just said, hey, look, go ahead and do it. and see if it say, hey, you might prevail, bro. You might just win. Go ahead, do that thing. Say, have at it, man. Here, matter of fact, have Satan, have the demons tell you how to make some laser beams, how to make you know, your own so-called UFOs, make your own kind of chariots, teach you how to open up the CERN, open up some portals, the CERN Switzerland, show you how to do some things. But all that's going to be for your own demise, whether you know it or not. Right? It says, yeah. Behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. They shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power, right? The Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, through his only begotten Son, right? Through Rakakwadash, right? As you can see, the Spirit is moving upon the earth of the flame, power of the flame, the ICBM missiles, where there shall not be coal to warm at, nor flame to set before it, right? Because that's what they should have did in California. They should have set a flame before it, right? Where you could burn some of the field, and it won't allow the flame to jump over to the other side, right? Right. Basically, in a sense, fighting fire with fire, because you'd burn some of the other area, it would have had no way to catch it, right? So the Lord said, you won't even be able to come and fight fire with fire. This thing is going to come so fast, so vast, so many hypersonic and nuclear missiles are going to hit, right? You ain't going to be able to say, and thus shall they be unto thee with whom
Tap the chest to see what you get.
thus has labored, even they, thy merchants, right? Because this is that great merchant city also, right? It's known in the scriptures. From thy youth, they shall wonder every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. See, everybody else is going to be sitting back looking at the devastation that happens to this place. Yeah, so this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 9. For the righteous children of good men did sacrifice secretly, right? Because we did the the Passover basically, and it was done secretly, right? Right, did the Passover, and with one consent made a holy law, right? Because now you have to do the Passover, once a year, right? And it symbolizes the beginning of the year, right? That the saints, right, which are Israelites, right? And the only way you could be a saint is to be an Israelite, right? Should be like partakers of the same good and evil the fathers now sing out with a song, right? Going into that song of Moses, having that victory after crossing through the Red Sea, right? Having that chariot, which Yahweh Shai, that massive mountain, which is chariot, flying over us for protection, right? A pillar, a cloud by day, and a pillar of fire by night. Right? Earthquakes, huh? And that pillar of fire by night, and we're singing that song, that victory in Egypt. But that's what's coming again. We're going to be singing that song once again. But on the other side, right, on the other side of the Gulf of Suez, right, which is known as the Red Sea, there sounded ill according crying of the enemies, right? Because they were, the Ham Egyptians, right? There are enemies, and a lamentable noise was carried abroad for the children that were bewailed, right? Which that's what's going to happen to America, right? Right. It says going to be a great noise that they're going to hear it over on the other side of the Red Sea, right? That the world is going to hear the cry of the fall of this place, right? It's going to be such a great noise, right? Which America symbolizes spiritual Egypt. So you're going to be bewailing, going to hear the cry of the destruction of this place of the spiritual Egypt. Remind me of that. But this is talking about the Egyptians, right? The master and the servants were punished after one manner, right? Which that was Yahweh Shai being the death angel, and that one manner coming through to destroy all the firstborn in Egypt, as promised, as was told would happen if he didn't let the people go to worship to worship him, the Father and the Son, right? Whether you know it or not, that was for us to go worship the Father and the Son, you know, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. So hey, the Lord said that He killed the firstborn of every man, even the beast, from the common man unto Pharaoh, unto their king. So you mean nobody was spared, and that's what's coming soon, right? You can see the rich getting their houses burned. You're not going to get spared because you're wealthy and you're rich and you're this and that. You're not going to be spared. Now you might be part of the conspiracy of covering up those tunnels or whatever, because with all that the insurance is dropping, um just dropping people, and especially you being celebrities and having the biggest influence. It's crazy. I haven't heard one thing from the celebrities, and you're talking about this is day what, 3 or 4 or whatever since that thing has happened, and there ain't no big outcry from the celebrities saying what's up with this insurance companies doing this, right? Hey, so I mean, let me stay focused on, because I'm gonna go into a whole nother thing, but just inquiring minds want to know, like, this is crazy, right? So they all together had an innumerable death with one kind of death, and that was the death angel, which was Yahweh Shai. And neither were the living sufficient to bury them, for in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. Hey, so, and that's what's coming to this place, Babylon the Great, man. No one's coming to help you, man. You're not going to be able to help yourself. Hey, in one moment, right? The Lord said in 1 hour, right? When you go to Revelation, this place is going to be destroyed, and you're spiritually Egypt. And this is what the Lord's speaking about Egypt, right? But this is coming to you. It says where the for whereas they would not believe, right, anything by reason of the enchantments, which that remind me of the 2/3, right? That remind me of the 2/3, because that's how Esau does things too. Esau. Matter of fact, let's get that, because Esau is like the thing. He kind of he got into the minds of the people, and it's he's the god of this world, right? So come right here. This is the Bible Hub. King James Version first, real quick. In whom the God of this world, see, have blinded the minds, right? That's what I want to say. Blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the most high power, Yahweh, should shine unto them, right? So, that Yahweh Shai is the image of Yahweh, man, and that he's supposed to shine unto you and bring some clarity to who you are. But the enchantments of this world, or the enchantments of Esau, has basically blinded the minds of the Lord's people. And I like this one right here. It says, the New King James, it says, whose minds the God of this age, right? Which lets you know this it's a time period. It's not talking about the actual world as an Orkamene. It's talking about the world as an age. So when they go and tell you that world means cosmos, right? And you know, and then put cosmos for every single because it does mean cosmos and what's called it, because organization, government, right? Cosmos, or organized government, which will be the Israelites. They're the ones that's organized. The organized government's fit for themselves, not for everyone, right? But then you go to other different definitions. Sometimes in these different what's called, even if it's the blue letter or anything, it'll still say it'll still say cosmos, cosmos, cosmos when it can't be cosmos, right? Even right here, they're showing you that it's age, right? Which means a specific time, a time period. So this age, this time period, right? Right. Um. The New International Version says, the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers, right? So that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Hamashiach, right? Which is Yahweh, who is the image of the power of the Most High Yahweh, right? Right? And some of these break it down like, yeah, that goes into age, the time. And it says Satan is the God. See, I like that. Satan, right, which is our adversary. Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, is our adversary, or Satan, who is the God of this world, right? He's the one who's ruling this world, this age, this period, as has blinded the minds of those who didn't believe. They are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. See, and we go out there and teach, and we're telling you, hey, you're the Israelite, you're the so-called black, you're the so-called Hispanic, you're so-called Native American, you're so-called Colombian, Cuban, Dominican, Haitian, whatever. We're telling you you're the Israelites, Jamaican, right? We're telling you that you're the people. You got to repent and come back to this. But you're enchanted by this world, basically, right? And it says, but it's meant to be good news. So it's crazy how in this world is so enchanted, good news sounds bad to you. They do not understand the wait. See, whoa! I didn't even notice that they did not understand the message about the glorious Hamashiach, right, which is Yahweh, who is the exact likeness of the power Yahweh Bashem Yahweh, man, Bashem Rakakadash, man. Hey, that's beautiful because hey, he's the exact likeness of Yahweh, right, the Most High. You know, hey, and you don't understand the message, right? It's meant to be good news, and they're like, I don't see how that's good, right? We come back right here. It says, Wisdom of Solomon, 18 and 13, whereas they would not believe. See, they didn't want to believe, right? They couldn't understand the good news. They couldn't understand the message of the good news, man, right? And whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments. See, and that's Esau always constantly bombarding the TV, the news, the movies, the shows, the media, the music, everything, bombarding it with basically these enchantments. Keep you on focus on the power, on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. It says, unto the destruction of the firstborn, right, which goes back to Egypt, but that's happening today, right? That goes back to Egypt, right? They acknowledge this people to be the sons of the power, right? And that's ultimately what's going to happen now, right? America, Babylon the Great, which is also spiritually known as Egypt, right, is going to be destroyed. Like the Lord said, he raised up Pharaoh for that same reason, to raise him up for destruction, to show forth his power. So the exact same thing the Lord is going to do today. He has raised Esau up, let him build these satanic monuments and all these other different things, and to destroy him. So with all that, I want to give all praise and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and do well, the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, and have come back to the fold, Shalom, to you sisters, you Akhwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Baba Ball.